let's make sure one thing about the midterm journal presentation. So far, I received the one or two students send me some paper, and I think all others haven't signed it. So better to look for your desired journal. If you still have any problem to search the suitable journal, maybe you can either try to contact Joy first to see how to use in the library to help you to search the journal. Because most of you gonna to have the master thesis soon. So I wish to have these courses to help you to quickly training how to search a journal paper. But another thing we just started talking last week is when is a good time to make a midterm paper presentation. Now suppose we have the two choice. Number one maybe November 1st, and number one November 8th. Which day you like? Earlier or somewhat delayed? I guess. Okay, let me quickly check. Anyone want to vote for November 1st? Okay, one. How about November 8th? Okay, this is more November forever long. Let's see, okay. So far, maybe let's check, maybe temporary set November 8th. But when close to the end of October, let's talk about your situation. Maybe you need more time, right? Sometimes. Maybe we can try to reschedule. But let's set up November 8th. Actually, yesterday I want to set up November 1st because based on my previous experience, November when you set up a deadline, everyone will start from 1 day or 2 days or 3 days ago. So based on my previous experience, maybe we better set an earlier deadline. But let's set up the November 8th first, okay? Which if November 8th should be fine with you, maybe we don't have any plan on November 1st. So we have a consecutive 5 or 6 hours for November 8th. Okay? Because a little bit fairness, everyone can stay on the same point. Otherwise, some people stay on November 1st, some people stay on November 8th. A few years ago, we do have this kind of situation, and some students argue with us. They say, it's unfair, they have 1 more week to well prepare them. So better we can have this situation. But let's set up the November 8th. Hopefully, we don't postpone anything. Okay? So right now, I wish that you have 1 more month, nearly 1 more month. So better you after today, start to look for your paper, and some read should be fine, right? But don't waste your time. Don't push everything, until the end of October. That will mess up everything. And today I have 3 news I want to share, 2 or 3 news I want to share with you. But let's finish my slides first. Maybe the final hour, let's talk about that. So last week we started talking about some idea for that, and I tried to ask you some questions. We talked about the first one, most of manager think the risk management is very important in supply chain management. But sometimes most of the managers choose to ignore that because they think very difficult to handle that, and private company can do anything. So let's ask the third one is, many people treat the risk uncertainty and a little bit undesirable. How will you think? Sometimes there's something happen, and most of news looks negative. I show you some news Tokyo, Japan or whatever. Everyone treat this kind of news the bad things. How will you think? Later I have some news to share with you. Today we talk about the FedEx, and I have 2 video with the 1 paper news. I would like to share with you and discuss with you based on this question. How will you think? All right, so let's look at number 1 idea, how more benefits. Most of people will treat this kind of event the bad thing. But sometimes some people will try to reverse that. So remember that last week I told you in Toyota, their raw material, steel material provider doing a fake report in Japan. And then most of the consumers think the Toyota is weaker and even weaker. If you were manager for a Toyota or CEO for a Toyota, how will you do? Can you do something to change this kind of a bad thing to be a better thing? Certainly yes. Number 1, maybe you can try to claim okay, we try to use a better standard of a steel raw material provider. to enhance your capability. So this one, but later I have more detailed discussion with you. So I just want to let you know it's not always bad thing. So depends on how you dealing with this. And again, like I will not follow my slides. I know some teachers maybe try to read the words one by one. It's not my style. I will ignore everything. Please go back home to read my slides because I think it's very easy to understand. If you go back home to read it one by one, certainly I think if you have any question or jumping in your mind after you go back home, for example, like the slides 25, you read everything, but you can actually understand the whole meaning. Please feel free to bring back to me on next week, okay? But my style is I won't read these slides. It's a little stupid for me and waste both of our time. So please, I will ignore that. But you can read that. Sometimes I will. Okay, so how to do that? How to balance the risk management is a really bad thing. How do you think? How to do that? Let's talk about more like the more other example. For example, like some Apple, they're standing between the United States and mainland China during the trade war. How will you locate Apple? Will you stay in mainland China or back to the United States or move to the other three countries? How will you do? It's kind of stay in mainland. Why?
Because moving a factory, that's a lot of money. It's like you have to invest more and then spend a lot more money while you're already stable at the place.
Okay, very good. But United States government will keep increasing the tax, increasing the other money fare. You have the cost will keep increasing. So stay. Certainly, you are facing the increasing tax. Your cost, operational cost will keep increasing. And live, I agree with you. You must spend lots of money to move the whole factory, assembly line, whole workers. Maybe another country doesn't have so many workers. So, stay, you will spend lots of money. Live, you will spend more money. How will you do? I haven't. This course we haven't really talked about trade war because my another course I give them the two homework. Number one homework talk about trade war between the United States and mainland China. Another work we talk about another trade war between Japan and South Korea. But this course I don't want to duplicate all my two courses, so I don't want to spend too much time here. I just want to let you think about that. How you dealing with that in terms of a risk management viewpoints. If you were the CEO of Apple, how will you do? Stay or leave?
Leave.
Leave. Why?
Well, because there are lots of alternative choices. There's always countries that have the same as labor force now. Like China is not the only country that has a cheap labor force. There are countries like India. There's countries like Indonesia that can do the same thing that China can do. So
Exactly.
there are lots of other choices. So why would we choose to stay in China when there's a trade war going on?
Okay, both of viewpoints are very good. Do you have other options? I think first of all, don't just fall in my trick. Don't just fall in my trick and travel very directly. I ask you leave or stay. Sometimes you can think about different compromising way. For example, partially stay, partially leave.
Yeah.
Actually, it's the true thing they want to do. Let me tell you the truth because every week I will try to talk with the different boss of a different industrial company. We talked about this for a while, maybe 1 or 2 weeks ago. Result is they don't want to leave. Similar to her opinion because it's really not just cost, they need time.
Yeah, and
They need to
then
find a suitable place and suitable workers. Although we know India is very good, but other infrastructure or other things maybe need to cooperate together. So they are very reluctant to do so. But another issue will come up: how to face in this United States custom and the tax. And they have another option. So they move certainly assembly line and the factory outside of mainland China. Which means that special assembly line factory mainly dealing with the product export to the United States, and others maintain the same thing. So that's why they want to do the separate. But Another issue is maybe nobody really know what else President Donald Trump will, he may think about other way to in response to this kind of strategy. So let's wait and see. But I just want to let you know, sometimes some people traditionally people always think about this kind of risk or events will be the terrible thing. But try your best to survive in your company. If you fail, maybe you will close all your business. So that's why I made up title like more benefit. Always think about like standing a different way, try to look for another solution. Alright. So most of people try to do something, but maybe I think the idea is how to minimize your overall risk. So I try to ask you to stay away. I think either way will be harm a lot. You will get something but lose a lot. Try your best to minimize it, find a compromising solution to be fine. Alright, so some people try to go this way. Last week we talked about uncertainty means like we have very limited information. You cannot capture any characteristic. Risk means like at least you can try to estimate some event or occurrence probability or some potential outcome impact. Then you can try to separate to the different events and try to identify they are truly harm or like any benefit you can get from this benefit. For example, like we also talk about Volkswagen. They have another fake report in the Europe starting from 2015. They try to claim their car is very clean, even better than an electronic car. And they try to use a fake report to claim their diesel car is very good. But eventually, events jump up. Some consumer doesn't like this kind of cheat behavior. So they start to blame Volkswagen and lose a lot because even their new car in the United States cannot be sold because the government limited to make lots of restriction and regulation. So if you were CEO for the Volkswagen, how could you do? I think it's a bad thing and already happened. Now only you can do it. Try to reshape and try to rebuild your brand reputation. So you can think about lots of what you could do. So that's it. In a very simple way, but sometimes not as simple in practice. So that's why sometimes we try to do a decision in a different alternative and basically try to see what kind of choice you have. In the statistics, we try to define all possible outcomes. So you can try to think about what else you could do, try to list all possible strategies and see which kind of potential impact that will be more systematically. And also we talk about the consequence. So we try to give you a different level from the ignorance to the eventually we are very certain. Some events are very clear and think about you how to do that. So usually people will try to do so. Let me give you an example. Here is one example in the Europe. They try to do some transportation delivery in Spain to Moscow, Russia, and they have several ways to run this kind of freight transportation company traditionally. So they have 4 different alternatives. Let me explain that. Number one is you can try to hire the full-time drivers. Second one is hire some part-time drivers. Third one is try to hire new temporary drivers. And the fourth one is outsourcing. And they have a different corresponding cost. So you could see like the full-time will be 5,000 euro, 4,000 more euro. But you use the outsourcing, sometimes even more expensive. But it's just for one time. Because like if you hire a full-time driver, which means like no matter you have the cargo to deliver, you have to pay the salary for it. So for the one time, maybe you will see the outsourcing will be most expensive. But for long term, maybe this one will be the most expensive. My question will be, how will you do? If you have some cargoes on the delivery and you have 4 different options, how will you think about that? Number one, think about how frequently you deliver your cargoes. If you just run a small company, at the end of this semester, we will talk about a small business company, how to fit in this. Because like the traditional people will argue that only big company, large company need to consider that. Small company doesn't need to worry about it. But later on you will know that's a little bit biased. But think about it, if you are just run a small business company, maybe just a small B2B company, you have something need to deliver maybe every month, few times. So you have 4 different options. How will you do? Number one, think about how frequent you deliver your cargoes in a month. And then you can try to evaluate those kind of situations. Using outsourcing has an alternate, has an advantage for that. Easy to do. You just like the FedEx, UPS, DHL, Postal Office, or whatever delivery company. Then put your cargo there, fine. Using a full-time driver, what's the benefit? Or
full-time workers, so it's not easy for them to just say, oh, I'm gonna leave. But for a part-time worker, then you can say, oh, I'm not gonna come today, I'm busy.
Very good, easy to control. Because it's a full-time driver. Then sometimes you have an emergency delivery or urgent delivery, or sometimes like the outsourcing, you have to wait. They can help you deliver it very immediately. How about a part-time driver? What's the advantage? Cheap. You can see the cost for it in a very easy way. And what's the bad thing? What's the disadvantage?
They might not show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, very good. Yeah, you can think about like some part-time workers maybe.
Yeah, I'm reliable.
Yeah.
Yeah, reliable. So cost is very a little bit lower, but depends on how reliable. Some people will try to find a temporary driver, another new driver, similar to a part-time driver, but maybe it's kind of a little bit one-time contract. So similar to outsourcing, but you could see cost is a little bit different. I would say like the main good thing is it's cheaper than outsourcing. Bad thing is then there is no history. You don't know how's the quality with that, how's the reliable with that. So how to make a final decision is very difficult. But how? If we still want to, if you were the owner of the small B2B company, you want to develop your distribution plan. You have these kind of 4 options. How will you do?
Look at the cost, and how much I will have to pay a full-time or part-timer, and decide from there. So if I had, and also look at how many deliveries I will be doing in a week time. So.
Okay, very good. So starting from the financial viewpoint, maybe you can look over the whole whole demand and supply situation. Think about how to choose the correct exact. But I would say either one, in the real world, try to develop the different alternatives and try to estimate, if possible, try to estimate cost or benefit, and then make your final decision. It will be easy. But some people in the practice, how will they do this kind of decision? No, you will find most of the CEO try to randomly pick up one thing he intuitively jump into his mind. So just randomly find a decision. So either way you could do. But what's your decision in this case? I would say it depends. But if you could have more the information, for example, we just talked about depends on how many amount of cargo we deliver every week, how frequent, how much amount, or how many cars you can try to find out, or how workers reliability. If you can find really good drivers, maybe you can start from part-time and eventually become long-time, full-time. You can have lots of different operation in your the whole life. So decision depends on lots of things, and I think most of you talk about very important thing is quality and reliability. These two are not that so quantitative, not just cost. Sometimes the reliability is not easy to measure. So just want to let you know. Alright, so let me skip all this. And sometimes people will try to use this matrix. What kind of matrix we call a payoff matrix? What's the meaning of that? If you want to launch a new product, sometimes you will start to do a market survey to see how customers accept this kind of future new product. Because it's not old product. The old product you have the iPhone, if you just new generation, maybe you can have lots of historically have to check it. But if any new product, you have to do some market survey. And sometimes you will use this way, as customer, if you look at this new product you like or neutral, undesirable. And then you will try to see different scenario have a different like the potential outcome. If the customer already like that, you can earn lots of money. If neutral, a little bit, but if unlike you will lose something. And then you will start to decide, what's the decision here? Should we really launch this new product or not? How will you do if you get this information? How will you do the next step? Launch or not? Launch. Ooh. Yeah, because most people think like the value is very higher than others. But what if these three scenarios, if you start to do a market survey, how to do the market survey in this case? Alright, so this is your information. You try to define a customer like you can get some money, maybe like in terms of $millions. So if customer really like you can earn lots of money. Then you start to do market survey. How to do the market survey? I think some of you will become a marketing sales in the future. If you want to launch a new product, you can
Give customers the product to use, like sample it, like in different stores and so forth.
Okay, very good. But let's say we call it experiment stage. Before that, for example, you have to ask yourself several questions.
What's the target?
What's very good? What's the target? What kind of customer you want to reach? Number two, how many experience you want to make? So for example, how many customers you want to survey this time? Number three, where you want to do your survey? Nearby capital or nearby region or nearby rural area? Where you want to define? What else? The age, male or female, or their income very good, their salary, or what else? You can think about lots of the statistics, and you can start to do your market survey. Then eventually, make this pair of metrics become more valuable. Then make your final decision. Sometimes the alternative is not that easy. For example, you were facing this kind of like alternative 1, 2, and 3 have different pair of metrics listed here. How will you choose? Alternative 1, 2, or 3? If your marketing department is very good, very strong, they do lots of this information collection, and they do lots of very good survey, give you this count table.
Actually, you have to look at the cost in this case, because one might be cheaper than two. So, yeah.
Okay, very good. Number one, but if we assume like the maybe cost is not different, almost nearly the same. How will you choose?
What's a minus? One minus.
Minus means like you will lose the money. If you use this kind of alternative, you discount
So
this
in
time.
third place, you won't lose anything.
Third one means like the very safety way. No matter which, you can gain some profit. The first one means like a high gain or high lose. How will you do it? I mean, this is just like not the real case. And certainly real case is more complicated. But I just try to simplify the whole decision process, but just let you know. How will you do? Maybe 3?
2.
2? Or 1? Let me try to quickly ask your viewpoints. Anyone want to select number 1? Okay, thank you. How about number 2? And how about number 3? Oh, very good. Okay, thank you. So you will select in this case, certainly. Sometimes we throw this pair of metrics, we not just look at the results. We go back to check the decision makers' viewpoints. If you choose the number 3, okay, maybe it's kind of safety issue. Make sure everywhere I can get some money. If you choose like the number 1, maybe a little bit aggressive, because like we have a chance to earn lots of money. Choosing number 2, maybe a little bit intermediate decision, not that aggressive and not as safety. You just want to change something. So sometimes this material information can help you to know what kind of viewpoints your boss located in. But anyway, again, for management, there is no standard decision. You can just make one decision, look at the results, That's it. You know, even for the market survey, I would say, in the future, if some of you join the marketing sales department, these all are prediction for the forecast. Remember that? Forecast is not that easy to precise. So sometimes like that, it's just for you for reference. That's it. Okay, so sometimes we can even do more. Like we launch another, the pair of metrics becomes more and more. We can try to see the high demand, medium demand, low demand situation, how to make the different decision. And some people will try to do some even more calculation. What kind of calculation may do? Some people try to estimate the probability for each scenario. For example, high demand may be, the probability may be high demand, medium demand, or low demand will be equal. So which means you multiply this pair of metrics for each corresponding probability will be 1/3. Add it in, that is value. That's one possible way. Try to calculate everything and try to choose the best one. That's one way some people will do. But key point is how to estimate probability. Market survey. You have to through the marketing survey, try to see if customer really eager to have this new product or not. So sometimes like, I don't know if you have this kind of chance. I tried this a lot in the United States before, like the Coca-Cola wants to launch a new flavor. They may have lots of like the testing drinking along the street and see how react and respond for the customer. If the customer looks oh yeah, maybe they know this will be low demand. So I just want to let you know, even for this pair of metrics, you can do more. Try to estimate your probability for different things. So number one, try to develop your scenario, and then try to define your probability if possible. And then do some calculation, maybe very simplified to try to calculate the expected value. Then you can get some ranking. I will not say this is the only way, because expected value just like the one represented value in statistics. Sometimes you can have other way to think about it. But just want to let you know, at least do some systematic way. Not just like choosing one randomly based on your view. That will be risky. Alright, so lots of like case you could do. But today I would like to introduce another we call a fuzzy logic, fuzzy theory. Sometimes we do a marketing survey or market survey. How will you do? You can design some questionnaire for the different like the people, and maybe ask, do you like this new product? Maybe you give them the 3 options. Like, medium, dislike, or unlike. And then maybe someone see, okay, we need more options. So some people will say like 5 different options: very like, medium, unlike, very unlike, or some people think like the 5 maybe not like enough. So you will see some questionnaire would be very crazy. They have 7 options, from the super like, very like, medium to the end. Some people even, I saw like, how many of you saw before? I doing one questionnaire before, they have 9 options. I even don't know what's the ranking between the number 3 and what's the difference with that. And eventually when I finish my questionnaire, I even don't trust my results. And I'm always wondering how they finalize their survey results. So I would say like the key point is like, so how to transfer this kind of results to your final decision. How will you think? So let me quickly ask some questions. How many of you do a questionnaire before? No matter few hours try to survey. True? Okay, 3, okay. But how's your feeling? How's your feeling or experience for that?
I just don't like doing surveys. It's tedious.
Me neither. I think like sometimes I even think it's a little bit garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah.
How to avoid that? But sometimes you still need to do some survey because, as we mentioned before, like you want to launch a new product, you don't have any other reference, no competitors reference, no other like second-hand information. You better do something. We know it's an unreliable experience, but still need to do something. So let me ask maybe more fundamental question. If you want to, you have to do some questionnaire. How to make sure you can get reliable information?
Tricky questions. To get people to answer. Because you know, most of the people who fill out those questionnaires, you know, they tend to just fill it out without thinking, you know. They need
I
written
guess
questions.
if you have like limited options,
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
very
better.
good. But how limited?
like maybe 3 to 4, that's it, not 5, 6, 7.
Okay, let me ask more question. Let me help you to think about it. You like the odd option or even option? For example, like odd means like 3 options. Like medium, alright? Or like 2, yes or no? Which one you like?
Yes or no?
Yes.
Right, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes they need to see if someone really medium. So how about the 5 options?
5 scales.
Too much.
Not bad. There's 7, so.
In terms of 7, yeah, you can see 5 maybe
Five
a
is-
little bit. So I remember some scholars try to do this kind of research. How wide of scales could get a more reliable results? Maybe some of my students in the future can try, but I just wondering if that. So as far as based on my experience right now, 5 may be a little bit upper bound. 3 should be fine. Sometimes yes or no will be okay because it depends on your question. Alright, so number 2, even though you limited your options, how to ensure customer really or respondent really fill out your questionnaire in serious way?
Like to say, have like tricky questions or like real questions that you have to think about it before you answer. You know,
But-
not like the simple questions. How are you? Like, you know.
What gender?
Yeah.
Let me ask you a second question, second real question. How many number of questions you think should be inside the questionnaire?
Okay, a questionnaire shouldn't be longer than 20 questions.
20?
20, I think you could get everything.
10?
10, yeah, 10 to 20.
Yeah.
And before that, I mean, because most of you, some of you in the future, when you need to finish your master's thesis, your advisor may request you to do some questionnaire and survey. Remember my words, okay?
This is a different story.
I think this is the difference, but
Yeah.
try to think about how to design your questionnaire to attract people to
But
finish.
then I did a questionnaire one time and it was just repetitive. Like the questions are just like the same and I'm like, why are you asking me the same question?
Yeah, so anyway, your logic. Try to make sure you have the very good results in the future. So number 1, my suggestion is, don't give them too many options.